Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Fire Force episode 9 and 10 review. With me, as always, is Kobe. Welcome to the show, Kobe.
Hello. Thank you for having me. It's, oh god, I didn't think of anything. It's, Zuko, it's Uncle Iroh, it's Azula, it's, Zhao, General Sao.
He's an admiral.
His admiral, that one dude, because they're firebenders, because it's hot here in the Fire Force discussion.
That was a pretty good selection there, I would say.
I think I'm out of them now. I literally don't know what I can do next.
I'll give you the next one. The next one, you're just going to list degrees in Fahrenheit that are considered hot.
I was about to start saying it, but I have to save that.
You got to save it, yeah. Don't do it right now.
I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Yeah. Where will he go? How high will he go? So what did you think of these two episodes, Kobe?
I'm gonna say I think I really liked one of the episodes more than the other.
Ooh, mystery.
Mystery. And that mystery is I liked episode 9 more than episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I think episode 9 was important for the series because it kind of set up its ultimate goal. Because we were talking about this for a few weeks of just like, what's this look like? Like, what's the show going to be about? And we finally got kind of like an evil organization. We got a face to it, and we got a direction to where we're going from here. What about you?
You know what? I don't think I give a shit about this series, and I think I've kind of hinted at this already in the past. And I know I said I'm only in this for the cool firefights, but you know what? In the past 10 episodes, I have grown to be a more sophisticated human being. I ask more for my anime, I realize.
Wow, it's so different than what Jeff was or at the start of this.
I know. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I just want to watch cool firefights. And this anime still does deliver that. I think episode 9 had a really cool battle between the more mobile Shinra and the guy with the firearms Rekka, I guess. And it was fun to watch, but I am not invested in these characters at all. And I know I was asking this before, and I think we got a little bit more of this in episode 10, but still not as much as I'd like. But I like it when the characters actually interact with each other, and we get to get a bit more character development. We get to see more about who they are. But at the end of the day, I think who they are is not really that interesting. And I think it's not very fair because you and I, Kobe, are currently watching another anime right now called Chihai Furu, and so it just hurts this anime even more. Like, the contrast between the two is like night and day. You have one anime that's basically a sports anime, but is very, very character-driven, with very well-developed characters and a great arcs and all that stuff. You really give a shit about the cast of that show. And then you look at this show, and I don't know what to hang my hat on Shinra. Like, what am I supposed to like about this guy? Really? What does this guy got? His smile? His winning smile?
And his fire feet.
So he's... And we also just learned in episode 9 that he's basically a special chosen one type, right? He has I already forgot, the something soul, the
Adula Blast or something?
Yeah, the Adola Blast or whatever it is. Essentially, he has fire from the original fire that created the world and all that shit, and that makes him super cool, and that makes him a target also at the same time. I'm sure it grants him special abilities in some sense as well, because why wouldn't it? He's the main protagonist. But I don't know. Shinra, it doesn't really do it for me. I don't know if I don't know if his shoulders are strong enough to carry this show.
The answer is he's not. It's not. And I agree with you. And I thought about that while watching episode 10 when they were all sitting around and they were talking about how, man, the 8th, is that they're the 8th,
yeah,
right?
they
are the 8th.
Yeah.
It's like the 8th district, they're all united and we're all back together after being apart. And I was like, I don't care about it. Like, I didn't care that they were apart.
They were barely apart too. They were apart for like
apart
5
for 2
minutes.
episodes. We don't know them enough to care that they were apart for so long. And it's because you're right, these characters aren't interacting with each other the way that they should be. They all have a distinct personality trait outside of one another, but that's it. That's all they have. They're not bouncing off one another the way they should be. There should be a deeper relationship between the captain and the lieutenant, because there seems like there's something there. The show is really like almost wanting to do something about their relationship together and like who's in control and who's in power and stuff like that, but they don't pull the trigger about that. The nun should be way more of a presence than she has been. all these characters, like the only one that they're really trying to develop is Shinra and Arthur, but even that's hit a brick wall after the second episode he was introduced, because it's just, haha, we hate each other and Arthur's kind of an idiot. Like, and that's it. There's no growth there. There's what those two should be are rivals to help grow into better people, but it's just playing for jokes, and just the connection of these characters is just not there.
Yeah, and I remember a scene in episode 10 when Shinra and the lieutenants are, cutting vegetables, and the lieutenant's like, you could tell us anything, right, Shinra? You could trust us here at the 8th, because,
yeah,
we just, we worry about you. I mean, he didn't say it like that, obviously, but it was basically that kind of scene.
Yeah, it was that.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, this is the scene where if I gave a shit about these characters, I'd be like, aw, the lieutenant cares about Shinra. But no, instead I'm just like, it wasn't earned. I think that's like the best way I could say it. It wasn't earned. That scene and the scene afterwards, the dinner scene where they're all like, your brother's alive, Shinra, which means, yeah, we're there for you, Shinra. Our plans are going to revolve around the fact that your brother's alive, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Why would that change why would that change
Let's
anything?
change our strategy to think that that Shinra's brother's alive. Like, what?
Yeah, like, what does that really change? I don't understand. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like, oh, we're a family. Shinra, his brother's alive. His brother's our brother. We're gonna help him out. So that's supposed to be like a really touching scene. And if these characters, if they lay the groundwork to these characters and the relationships between them way better, then this would be one of those scenes where I'd get the warm fuzzies, I'd get chills, like, ooh, yes, I love this cast of characters.
Like, it's finally coming together. Like, this is it now. They're fighting forward. They're a fire force.
Yeah, they're a fire family, if you will.
And yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I was just saying that's the thing about it, because now we do have a face. We have the evil of it. And I would say, first, right off the bat, I think I audibly yelled out, what? When I heard that the ultimate villain's plan is, basically, I wish Tori was here, because she was right in the terms of, I think, something about firing. I think she said that. She said they want fire to engulf the earth, or something along those lines, because that's literally what they want. They want to light everything on fire, and to make it a new star.
Great plan,
and
guys.
that's pretty dumb. Like, that's a dumb plan.
This is Saturday morning cartoon villainy levels of dumb. Like, this is the stuff that shows nowadays make fun of. Like, this is the kind of like evil villain plot line that's so passe. It's like, these are villains that destroy the world. Why are they destroying the world? I don't know, because they're evil. It's like
they want to light everything on fire, because fire is great.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe there'll be a reason to it, but I highly doubt it. I think these are just, religious lunatics that believe in Amaterasu, the sun god, or whatever, and they want to bring that here and kill everyone in the process. But yeah, it's just cartoon levels of villainy. It's disappointing, yeah. And again, whenever I say these things, I'm like, man. But then again, this is like a kid's show, right? I'm pretty sure it's a kid's show.
I don't know. We saw a guy's heart get blasted out, like in ice, and just murdered.
I mean, true, but
very kid friendly.
But it is PG. There was no blood. It was a clean kill, basically. A hole was blown out of his chest. He didn't scream in pain at all. He was frozen in ice. In terms of murders on show, that's a pretty PG way to do it.
And I guess it is, but it was weird that they stood around his body afterwards and were acting like friends, and they shook hands, we're gonna do it. And it was all uplifting music, and there's just a dead hunk of body behind them.
And that's so fucked up too, because the guy that shook hands with Shinra, I forgot his name, but he was the ice trumpet guy.
What was his name? It was Rekka was the one who got his arm destroyed, right?
No, Rekka was the one that died.
Rekka's the bad guy. Yeah, Rekka's the bad guy.
He got frozen.
It's like Kilrim or something? I don't know.
Karam, whatever.
Karam, yeah.
I think it's Karam. So, Karam, they kind of show that Karam, Rekka, and this third guy who got his arm chopped off are best friends, basically. Or they were really close friends. They relied on each other. There's even a photo of them. I saw it as a graduation photo or something. There's a photo of the three of them hey, we're in the first district together. I thought these were best buddies. But, listen, Kobe, if you were, if you were in a block of ice and your heart just got shot off, I wouldn't just shake hands with some stranger in front of you. I would mourn a little bit.
Yeah,
I want you to know that
if I turned evil, there'd be at least there'd at least be a 10-minute sad period.
Exactly.
I assume.
And this guy did not have that. He just straight up froze him, Shai's heart get blown out, and then he's like, all right, I'm on to the next best friend, which is Shinra, I guess.
I guess now we're friends. But that's just, and that whole thing, that's a horrible way to tell a story. I mean, we're introduced to these characters, and on like all we know about Rekka, all we know is like broad personality strokes, that Rekka's kind of out there and crazy. And then we find out he's bad. And then I was lamenting, I think the last time we talked about this, like after we found out he's bad and Shinra came and saved the day, I was yelling at the fact that this shouldn't be a Shinra Save the Day story. This should be that one cat girl story about how she's betrayed by someone she really looks up to. But they only dig into that like after he's revealed as a bad guy. They only get into the friendship between the three after he's revealed as a bad guy. It makes no sense in terms of story structure. Like if we had got it where we learned about these three as really best friends and Rekka is like the center point of this friendship, and then he's revealed to be a crazy bad guy, that has weight to it. Like that does something. It's like for what it is right now, it's like, oh, okay, I'm learning about how he was kind of a good guy and important, but I already don't care because he's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just like, I think this anime, I don't know what it is. I think the writers, they know what they want to hit. They know the emotional points that they want to hit. They just have a lot of issues with landing it and how to implement it. It's kind of like there's like an anime handbook for how to make satisfying emotional character arcs, and they just skimmed it. And they're like, okay, here's the emotional points. Betrayal, guy you thought was good, who was really cool, he's bad guy. Okay, great, we got that in there. You know what I mean? It's not artfully crafted. The dominoes were not laid out carefully. It's just like a 2-domino thing. 2 dominoes is not very satisfying.
It's not. You can't play a game like that.
And I like how you mentioned that, there should have been a story about how Tamaki, which is the cat girl, how she was betrayed, essentially, and how maybe perhaps she would kind of overcome this. But no, she was just rescued by Shinra. They could have done a lot to make Tamaki more than a joke character and made her an actually cool and interesting character if, like you said, they centered the storyline around her a little bit more. But instead, she was basically the damsel in distress, and also, in the middle of the fight, she was still a joke character. Shinra was still shoving his face in her titties, and then, not even like a minute later, boom, suddenly he's like kissing her. Ooh, scandalous. Oh, man.
And that carried over. Now it sucks that she's part of the 8th now. Like, because now she's a one-note and one-joke character, which I guess some people like, but I need something more from that.
Yeah, and it made me realize, like, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen an anime that's like this shallow. Or even like a show in general. I don't know. I just think that I feel like these guys are kind of making mistakes that you don't really see a lot in anime these days. I mean, maybe I just don't watch that much anime in general, but yeah, I just don't think that a lot of shows make these same mistakes about making the characters so shallow. And because I feel like for the most part, shows at least are getting better at getting you to give a fuck about the characters.
Sure. So, even if they're lewd, even if they're overly sexualized, there's a lot of shows go above and beyond of making you at least still care.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I'm not even talking about just Tamaki. I'm talking about Shinra and Iris and the whole cast essentially. So yeah, it just strikes me as so odd that there's still a show like this, and it's also a shame because the art is still really beautiful in my opinion. I still really like watching it. In the hands of a better director or writer or whatever, this would have been a really sweet summer season anime to watch. But now it's just the more I watch this, the more I'm like, ugh.
The more I'm like, I would rather be watching like so many of the other shows that have done exactly what this one is doing 10 times better.
Exactly. And I was trying to think of like the reasons why, and I think I might have touched on this in the past. I think the reason why this show isn't really hitting those emotional peaks the way we want them to is because it's so fast. I think the speed at which it's introducing these characters and the speed at which it's opening and closing story arcs is kind of crazy. Because we're in episode 10 and we've gone through so many things already, and we haven't had the chance to stop and smell the roses. We haven't had the chance to really stop and know what these characters are about. Instead, we're just moving from plot point to plot point, and this makes these emotional moments feel unearned, and it also makes the characters feel very, very reactionary. Because what's happening is the plot is basically happening to them. Like, they're just being fed leads and information,
Shinra literally did not find out his brother was alive. He was literally told it by Joker.
Yeah, and also, can I just say, that's like one of the shittiest reveals ever. like this whole mystery about who Shinra's brother is he still alive? It wasn't even, they didn't even try to like build it up. Joker just came out of nowhere and he's like, your brother, he's the leader of a commander of knights of the Evangelists. And that's it.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
it would have been
all right.
It would have been 10 times better if we didn't suspect his brother was alive in these past few episodes. Like if we meet this bad guy character and it's like, oh, then you find out that's Shinra's brother. Like we don't need the mystery of Shinra's brother might be alive. Where's Shinra's brother? And then the next few episodes is Shinra's brother is a bad guy and he's the leader of this cult. That's bad storytelling.
And they could have even just, kept that a mystery too, because, in that dinner scene, what was his face? The captain was all like, "Are you sure he's alive?" And then Arthur is like, "Yeah, this guy could be full of shit or whatever." And then they're like, "Nah, we'll just, if you think he's alive, we'll think he's alive." So I was like, okay, so maybe there's a little mystery of whether or not he's alive. But no, the final shot of the episode 10 is his brother commanding the Evangelist Knights, and he's doing that smile. So exactly, that he's definitely his brother. He's definitely alive. And everything that Joker says is basically true. So, the potential for mystery was just yanked out right away, basically.
Yep.
Oh,
and
man.
But the only thing I will say I'll give the show benefit of the doubt for is maybe, I doubt it, and I'll say this, I doubt it, but maybe because we're episode 10 right now, a lot of shows have done this in the past in terms of like there's a rough first patch to get to the story they actually want to be telling. Like you realize after once it hits its stride, like, oh, this is the story we want to be telling for everything going forward. So maybe this just was awkward, clunky, growing pains to just introduce the characters, and then by the half season mark, then it will hit its stride, and then it'll be the story. I'm not saying that's good or acceptable, because that's really bad, especially for an anime with only 24 episodes. But I'm saying maybe that's what will happen.
You're trying to give us hope, Kobe.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things I want to discuss was in episode 9 when Shinra was like, "Oh, Arthur got lost trying to chase Rekka. Haha, that's so funny." But then I think it's a post-credit clip, or it's at the end of the episode or whatever. You see Arthur in like this cape, and he's like walking through like a deserted wasteland. So, what did you think of that scene?
Was that the joke? Was it supposed to be a joke? I really thought he was on a mission of some sort.
That's what I was saying. I think that's alluding to something, that maybe Arthur is a traitor. I think that maybe Arthur is a part of the Knights of the Evangelist. I mean, it makes sense. Like, he's already a knight. He's all about, knighthood.
Yeah, but it's too obvious. They wouldn't make the knight character. It's like, what?
I mean,
like, the knight character is a knight?
But this show, though, I feel like is all about that shit. Simple revelations, essentially.
Simple revelations, and that would, you're right, then that would kind of make sense of just like, because what if these evangelists, they had Rekka in the fifth or whatever he was first. He was in the first one.
He's the first one.
So it's like, it would be smart if the evangelists had one mole in each of the units, right? That would make sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the problem is, just with that, it's like, Arthur, there's no way. Like, if Arthur turns out to be the traitor, everyone was like, oh, he's a knight of these guys? You'd be like, oh, well, yeah, you probably should have realized that.
I think I'm gonna stick by that prediction. I think he's a bad guy, and he was when he was lost chasing Rekka. He doesn't want to chase Rekka because Rekka is his fellow knights of the Evangelist or whatever. And what was he doing in the deserted wasteland? That I'm not sure about. Delivering information, maybe? I don't know.
I love justifying reasons for it, especially when it comes to dumb jokes. I will support you on this and say the scene when they're looking for leads in the papers, he immediately taps out and says, oh, it's too hard. And it plays as a joke of just like, I'm too dumb to, and the mental strain is killing me. And he doesn't look very hard. But maybe if you were writing him as a villain character, then that's what he would do.
And all of the goofs and gaffes and mistakes he's made in the past was actually attempts to halt and slow down the 8th Division.
I started your theory not believing you, but now I'm actually 110% on board.
Well, okay, that would be like the smartest thing that the show's done. I know you think it's so obvious. He's a knight, but, and he's a part of the evil knights. But it would make, all this stuff about him being a goofy character, it would kind of shed new light on it. It's basically like the Jar Jar Binks theory. Have you heard of that theory?
Yeah, the one that he's the I don't know what you mean by theory. You mean the 100% true statement that he is a Sith Lord.
Yeah. You're right. I'm sorry. Not the theory.
Yeah.
The law that says that Jar Jar is the Sith Lord or whatever. Yeah, essentially that, and that'd be pretty cool. And that would make me go, you know what? The show got me. But now that I predicted it, it can't get me.
So, joke's on them. And if it doesn't happen, then we're going to look at the show and be like, this was stupid. They should have gone with the Arthur as the villain thing.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Either way, we're going to be unhappy.
Yep. We're unhappy, but we're on top. Ha! Screw you, show.
Here's something that I want to talk about, something that I thought was the only interesting part that made me go, that's something I haven't seen before. So these snipers, which is kind of cool in theory, you're pulling back fire and shooting them, but I guess they're pretty shitty snipers.
They can only get one kill a day.
And then they're like, she's like, darn, I missed.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, like their method of getting rid of the snipers was weird. It was basically scare them with ice and smoke and make it look like that's in their general direction to make the snipers know that their location was known, just to see what would happen. Like, maybe it will scare them away, maybe it won't, but let's make them think that we have a plan.
Yeah, okay.
And hopefully it runs away.
So,
it's like, that's strange.
It's, okay, I kind of love it and I kind of hate it at the same time. One, I
just, because I've never seen that before. Like, this is an interesting way to approach a problem. Let's not have a plan, but let's make them think we have a plan.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, that's kind of smart and clever in a way, because I feel like in a high-stakes situation like that, life or death, potential for battle and all that stuff, I feel like that could potentially work. Like, that's like kind of a legit kind of psychological trick. Like, oh shit, they know where we are. This must mean that they're going to attack us soon or something like that. But on the other hand, knowing this show, I feel like it's just lazy writing. It's just like, well, fuck. Like the writers are just like, so, okay, we have snipers on the building and they're in the building. How are we going to get the snipers to leave? Fake them out. Just make them think that they have them there and then they'll leave. And it's like, I mean, yeah, I guess that works. It sounds kind of smart, but I just can't help feel like it's also, what's the word? Contrived.
Trite?
Yeah, trite,
yeah.
Contrived, whatever.
Same thing. I agree with you on the thing, but the problem that I always have problems with these scenes, because it's my like number one pet peeve. I hate elements like this when it's an assassin and they're sent to kill like the bad guy in it when like the good guy is investigating them. Like, why don't they have at least one clear shot before the before they're discovered? Why do they never go for the good guy first? Obviously, he's a block of ice. He's frozen there. He's not going anywhere. They should have attacked the other people. The show tried to explain it a little bit more than other shows have done in terms of they're just like, okay, the traitor's there. Oh, but there's still some fire soldiers in there. Should we kill him? Yeah, sure. Let's see what happens there. But I hate that so much in shows where it's just the bad guy and the good guy are talking and the bad guy gets assassinated by like the real bad guy.
Yeah.
Just like, well, why not go for the good guy?
Yes, it's a trope that they played into, and it's all for expedience, really, and it's because you can't kill the good guys. That's not what they're supposed to die yet. I guess the reasoning for this one was because, like, Shinra is a Abdul Soul or whatever, a perfect flame dude, so they can't kill him because they want to convert him, I think, is a plan. But, there are other guys there that they totally could have killed. And even then, so she took a shot of the guy in the block of ice, killed him, no problem.
Easy.
And everyone after that was still standing there.
Yeah, they
and
didn't
she
move
still
at
missed.
all.
Yeah, when she missed, they were still standing in the exact same spot.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Yeah, they were like, oh no, our best friend died.
Yeah.
Our best friend turned out to be a bad guy and then was murdered in the span of like 3 minutes. Like, it's a lot to process.
Yeah, and like, they didn't even bother to like animate them running before she missed. It was just like, oh, he died, boom, another shot. They missed. Man, I don't know. This anime has got me heated.
Just got heated. What about the introduction of the Council of Leaders? The one where we got overboarded with every character of every like leader of the precincts.
Yeah, okay, so the seventh captain is so stupid. He shows up the
one who showed. Yeah.
So okay, you already know what I'm gonna say. Is like, the captain of the 8th is all like, oh, the 7th's here. That means it's serious. But the 7th literally just showed up to say, you guys are all stupid. And then he walks away.
Yeah, and then so you don't know how that probably took a long drive to get there. Why show up at all?
Yeah.
That's at least like 45 minutes, probably, like at least one way there and back. I mean, why would you do that?
And I mean, okay. And so this guy, also, think of the missed potential. This guy is like apparently the most powerful fire soldier. I think a little bit of mystery would have really benefited him if, like, oh, everyone showed up except for the 7th because they don't show up to anywhere. Also, he's the strongest. But no, he shows up just to say fuck you to everyone and then leaves the room. I mean,
he
come
sits down, he hears the opening words of it and just like, no.
Yeah.
And then leaves.
I guess he's just trying to make a show of himself. Like, yeah, just so you guys don't forget, we're rebels, okay? We came here to tell you that.
That's the way to show that he's the most powerful. Not by having him do cool fire thing, not by having him show up, but by having him show up and then like walk away and then like the guy in charge be like, hey, get back here. And then he just doesn't. Then he leaves.
Oh man. I mean,
and then they're like, oh, okay, should we continue with our meeting?
I mean, the leader, the Pope guy, the fire Pope guy, he doesn't even flinch. He's just like, hey, get back here. Okay, he's not coming back. All right, anyways.
No, then he did like the angry voice, like the get back here, and you think that's the moment where he's gonna stop and like, okay. He's like, nope, doesn't care.
Yep.
Then he's gone.
I mean, I guess I gotta give it to him. I mean, that's kind of a power move. It's like
that is commitment to the bit.
Yeah, exactly commitment to the bit. You show up just to cut this guy off and leave. Oh my god, this guy is.
I want to do that so bad now, like in some element of my life. Like I hope it's like I have to fly somewhere for like a meeting, and then just fly there, walk in, and they say hello, and just like, no, this is stupid, and then get up and then leave.
Oh man, it's like equal parts stupid and smart. It's kind of like that plan where they're like, yeah, let's make them think that we know where they are, and then see what happens next. Maybe that's like this whole anime in a nutshell. There's like half and half elements, you know? And like with Arthur too, like, oh, he's the bad guy, but also he's a goofball, but that's because he's a bad guy.
Yeah, we're so on that train now.
Yeah. That train has left and we are on it. Yep. We can't leave. There's no stops.
Nope.
Oh man. What else is there to say about these 2 episodes?
I don't even know. I'm so glad you thought of that same thing of that guy.
It's so ridiculous. Like it's like he's so petty. That's what he is. He's just petty.
He's not strongest. He's just a bitch.
Yeah, he's a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, that's his strength. That's where power lies in this world, in this universe. The pettiest people survive.
That's the secret of the flame.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, man, we got so much dumb stuff in this thing. I still can't get over the fact that the villains want to light the world on fire, and then that's like their end goal.
I know. Like I said, cartoon villains, man. I mean, there might be a better reason, but I doubt it.
And stupid. I would just go into a rant again about that, but we just discussed that in depth.
I've got everything I wanted off my chest on these 2 episodes. What about you?
Yeah, I really just want to talk about the guy walking out of the meeting, so I think we covered all of our bases.
Sweet. All right, Coby. Well, would you like to sign us off?
Sure, you've been listening to this on Nerd Blaze. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for people who've left comments. Those have been fun. And go ahead and check out the rest of our channel. We do a lot of cool anime reviews. Jeff's done some really awesome videos. And then we have a podcast called Anime Ricochet, where 2 dudes who know nothing about sports talk about sports anime. It's a fun time. I'm glad we're getting into this show is becoming more fun to discuss because of how bad it is, because of how much we can shit all over it. So we'll be back at some point. Our episode releases have been sporadic. We'll be back when we feel like it, I guess. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks, guys. See ya.